The bass thumped like a second heartbeat inside my chest the moment I realized Sarah was gone. 1 second she was laughing in the kitchen, red cup tilted to her lips, eyes glassy with whatever cheap punch they'd spiked. The next, the crowd had swallowed her whole, and the house felt suddenly too large, too loud, too full of strangers who didn't know her name the way I did. I pushed through bodies slick with sweat and perfume, scanning every corner of the living room. The string lights overhead blurred into streaks of gold. Sarah. My voice cracked on the second syllable, lost under someone's playlist. No answer. I checked the patio, empty except for a couple arguing in whispers. The bathroom line snaked down the hallway. I knocked anyway. Nothing. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from her timestamped 20 minutes ago. Having fun, don't wait up. That was it. No emoji, no kiss, no punctuation. The kind of message she sent when she was already halfway out the door in her mind. I told myself she'd stepped outside for air. Sarah always overheated in crowds. She'd wander off to breathe, then text me when she was ready to leave. That was our rhythm. 10 years of marriage had taught me her patterns the way sailors read tides. But the clock kept ticking, and the front door stayed stubbornly shut. At 12:47 a.m., I found her purse on the staircase, abandoned like a breadcrumb. Lipstick, keys, the little tin of mints she chewed when she was nervous. Everything except her phone. My stomach folded in on itself. I dialed again. Straight to voicemail. Her recorded voice floated out, bright and careless. You've reached Sarah. Leave a message or try not to miss me too much. I hung up before the beep. The party thinned. People drifted out in 2s and 3s, calling goodbyes that sounded like accusations. I stood in the foyer pretending to check my coat, watching the door like it might open and rewrite the night. It didn't. At 1:15 I texted Mia, her best friend since college. Have you seen Sarah? 3 dots appeared, vanished, reappeared. She was with Jake earlier. Thought they went to grab smokes. Jake. The name landed like a slap. Jake, who'd flirted with her at every barbecue for 3 years, who always found a reason to touch her elbow when he laughed. Jake, who wasn't her husband. I found Mia by the keg, cheeks flushed, eyes already apologizing. They were just talking, she said too quickly. By the garage. Then I lost them. The garage. Detached, dark, separate from the house's noise. My legs carried me there before my brain caught up. The side door hung open an inch. Inside, the single bulb flickered over tool benches and stacked boxes. I heard her before I saw her. Sarah's laugh, but lower, breathier, the sound she made when she was trying not to wake the kids on Christmas Eve. Then Jake's voice murmured words I couldn't catch. My hand froze on the doorknob. I should have burst in. I should have screamed. Instead I stood there, pulse roaring in my ears, and listened to my marriage unravel in real time. Can't keep doing this, Sarah whispered. A rustle of fabric. He'll notice. He didn't notice tonight, Jake said. His tone was gentle, almost kind, which somehow made it worse. You deserve to feel wanted, Sar. A soft gasp. The wet click of a kiss. My knees buckled. I pressed my forehead to the cold metal door and tasted copper. I'd bitten my tongue so hard it bled. I don't know how long I stood there. Minutes, maybe. Long enough for the sounds to shift from playful to urgent. Long enough for the bulb to steady and throw their shadows against the far wall. 2 silhouettes merging, separating, merging again. I backed away on silent feet, the gravel crunching like bones under my shoes. The night air hit my face and I realized I was crying, hot tears tracking down my neck. I drove home without music. The streets were empty, sodium lights smearing across the windshield. Every mile I replayed the last 6 months. Sarah staying late at book club. The new password on her phone, the way she flinched when I brushed her hair from her eyes. I chalked it up to stress, new job, aging parents, the ordinary erosion of routine. I'd been so proud of my patience, my trust. What a fool. She slipped in at 3:12 a.m. I was on the couch, lights off, the dog curled against my thigh like a hot water bottle. I heard her kick off her heels, the soft pad of bare feet on hardwood. She paused in the doorway, silhouette backlit by the fridge as she grabbed water. You're up, she said, surprise edging her voice. Couldn't sleep. My throat felt lined with sand. Party ran late. She took a sip, set the bottle down too carefully. Mia's boyfriend started karaoke. You know how that goes. I nodded in the dark. Mia texted me. Said you left with Jake. Silence stretched thin and sharp. The fridge hummed. Somewhere outside, a car alarm chirped once and died. It wasn't, she started. Don't. The word cracked like ice. I stood, flipped on the lamp. Her mascara was smudged. Lipstick gone except for a faint bruise at the corner of her mouth. She looked beautiful and alien. I saw you, Sarah. In the garage. I heard everything. Her face crumpled. Not with guilt but with something worse, relief. I didn't know how to tell you, she whispered. I didn't want to hurt you. You're hurting me now. My voice shook. How long? 4 months. She hugged herself, nails digging into her arms. It just happened. I felt invisible. You were always working late or with the kids or… Stop. I held up a hand. Don't make this about me. She flinched. I'm sorry, David. I am. But I'm not sorry it happened. I needed to feel something. The room tilted. I gripped the back of the couch to stay upright. Get out. What? Take what you need for tonight. I'll pack the rest tomorrow. But you're not sleeping here. Her eyes filled. The kids. We'll be fine. They're with your mom this weekend, remember? Go. She opened her mouth, closed it. Then she moved like a sleepwalker, gathering purse, phone, the sweater draped over the banister. At the door she paused. I never meant. I know what you meant, I said. The door shut softly behind her. I didn't sleep. At dawn I sat on the porch steps, coffee cooling in my hands, watching the street wake up. The betrayal wasn't a single moment. It was 1,000 small fractures I'd ignored. The late nights, the half-truths, the way her laughter had stopped including me. I thought of the garage shadows burned into my retinas and felt something inside me calcify. By noon I'd changed the locks, canceled her credit card, texted her mother a sanitized version of events. The kids would be home Sunday. I rehearsed answers to questions I prayed they wouldn't ask. When Sarah's car pulled into the driveway at dusk, I met her on the porch with a duffel bag already packed. We'll figure out custody, I said. My voice sounded like someone else's, steady, final. But not tonight. She took the bag without meeting my eyes. I'll call tomorrow. Do that. As her taillights disappeared, I realized the house was quieter than it had ever been. Not empty. Our picture still hung on the walls, her coffee mug sat in the dish rack, but hollowed out like a tooth after the nerve is pulled. I stood in the doorway a long time, letting the cold seep in, wondering if trust, once shattered, ever truly mends or simply leaves sharp edges we learn to live around.